Hello and welcome to the War Report. I am $2 Cyrus. I am your host. I'm here with $3 Quan and with a $5 guest, Justin Davis, man. I think right after NXT Takeover, you just said I had to be on the show. And I said, why not?
Yeah, I said you might as well just let me on the show because I mean we talked about it a little bit. It was his birthday. I said, "What you want to do?" I'm gonna blame Mills. And he said, "I want to talk about Takeover." I said, "Sure, bud. You can talk about Takeover." We got to cut out Takeover talk for y'all.
I'm not even mad, but I haven't listened to the episode yet.
Oh, you're gonna be mad.
I don't get mad when y'all talk about AEW. I mean,
we talked about the Rumble
NXT.
The other day, so
it's fine.
We're fine. Guilty.
I think I shit on y'all too. I was like, "Fuck y'all." You know what I did, and I keep doing
for no
it,
reason.
And I you know what I keep doing? I keep calling y'all show. I keep calling this show Spot Callers, and I think it's because it's like your ghost, the ghost of you saying, "Please watch this show," looms heavy over my fucking life if you tell me to watch shows.
Hey man, just you know what? We watched the show. We just haven't gotten around to recording it. So that is your monthly Spot Callers update.
Here's my thing with Spot Callers. We're going to make an announcement about Spot Callers imminently. It will be back. We're restructuring how it's done. So it'll be back in 2021.
Yes. And then for the G Show * new name pending. I am getting a logo done for it. My friend Kim, who also did the Ramen Talk logo, and then it'll be back soon. It'll be back eventually.
Yeah, it'll be back.
I'm not too serious about watching New Japan again, but this is the show where we talk about NXT and AEW, and what a week it's been, especially on the NXT side.
We had a seizure, so it was a hell of a week.
We had seizures. What else?
A turn. We had seizures. We had a turn. We had two fantastic tag team matches that I think people are going to be remembering. By the end of the year, honestly. You had signees, you had a debut on NXT this week. You had a lot of stuff go down on that show.
And I think we only been notified of like 3 signees, but there are a lot to come in NXT fashion, talent hoarding and such. If you got the money, spend it. That's my take on that.
I don't know if you guys saw that report. I think I posted it in our chat. The Fightful report of the NXT Evolve show. Were you guys going to talk about that?
Yes. I did not put it on.
Yeah, I'm about to say you didn't put in the thing.
Yeah, but I was going to talk about it with some of the new signings going on here. And they're finally going to do something with all the people that they've been hoarding. Oh my God. Like, you want to see these dudes half baked? Go ahead.
My question is, where do you guys think the show is going to air? Like, it's not going to be Wednesdays. You think it's just going to be on the network? Mm-hmm. Or Peacock, sorry.
It's going to be a Peacock exclusive.
Saturday. Yeah. Okay. So just something for the weekend. I mean, WWE Network has covered a lot of their bases, but I think the weekend is like, when there's no pay-per-views, like I definitely think that like.
But you're missing a crucial day where they don't have content.
Tuesday.
That's where I think it's going to go.
You think it's going to go on Tuesday? You think it's going to air on something, or is it just going to be on the network?
I think it'll be strictly network. They've been missing that network component. I don't know about you guys, but since NXT left the network, I don't really watch it that much anymore. So. That's a value incentive to get me to watch the network more than twice a month. No. But I think I would watch it definitely way more if it aired on the network.
Yeah. They said that we're gonna see talent like Brandy Lauren, who is Skylar something now. I forget what's her new name, but we're gonna see a lot of the Evolved talent. I know everybody was really like dunking on Evolved when they started working with WWE, and I just thought that was ridiculous. There's tons of talented people on that show, so we were gonna get to see a lot of them.
Mhm.
Another story, which is just like, ooh, trouble in paradise. We have Sammy Guevara just denying working with Impact.
Look,
Quote unquote denying working with Impact, and I think it's completely reasonable.
he told him, like, I ain't trying to go back to the projects. Like, I'm up here now. Don't send me down there with that. He saw what was going on. He saw what Private Party's doing.
Yeah, they weren't doing anything on AEW, so I bet they're very grateful to be on Impact doing something. But honestly, let's keep it really real. Before AEW started, Impact probably talked to Sammy Guevara and like offered him something, and they tried to lowball him or something like that, and then he didn't want to work with them. And now that he signed to AEW, now they're trying to have him work with the people that he basically big dog. No, well, why does he have to be relegated to the basically AEW's developmental show now?
I think wow, dark is a development. Jesus, Cyrus. You know what was weird to me was AEW coming out and it's the rank and file journalists coming out that every single time they said, well, no, there's no heat on him. No, he's fine. He's completely fine. I'm just like, bro, when Fightful has scoops, very rarely are they like completely wrong, right? But it's always one thing, and you guys know where I'm going. Like they're like AEW can never have any strife, they never have any sadness, anyone upset. Whenever that comes out, they stamp it out, and then they go to BTE to do their PR about it. And that's exactly what they did with Sammy on this week's BTE. Was talking about the heat and he was too cold and blah blah blah. Which in hindsight, he probably shouldn't have been outside in Texas doing all that, considering all of the issues they have right now. But I'll leave that to another conversation. But I just found it weird that they quickly stamped out that any possibility that he could have heat with the company.
Yeah, it's weird, and honestly, I think a lot of people like to forget, but wrestling is a job. I don't know anybody that's working in this current pandemic that is happy about working right now. They might like be happy that they have a job, but being happy to actually work there, like, no. And anything that
having to risk your life, like risk your life to face Sami Callihan, nigga, no. Thank you.
And what is it? They get paid for the gate, and it's only like $20 per ticket. Like, come on, bro, they not making no bread, man. What is this? But the report also talks about how this storyline was supposed to be involve Chris Jericho and Don Callis as well, and getting Sammy Guevara to just do stuff in Impact. And honestly, I think it's fucked up because Jericho politicking to get Sammy Guevara to work on Impact seems like a punishment, and I don't think that's a good way to like display your partnership. Like you send your other wrestlers down there as punishment.
What are they getting out of this?
It's so strange, bro. Because like, it's not like for example, it's not like Sammy Guevara is like Private Party. You feel me? Like they don't. He didn't need that seasoning. He's been doing this for a minute. They don't need that seasoning over at Impact. So like, what is one gain from doing this besides? I mean, that's not gonna bring any viewers to Impact. No one's gonna go out of their way to go watch Impact to go see Sammy Guevara. I'm sorry.
Yeah, people barely went out of their way to see Kenny Omega, bro.
Kenny, yeah.
So, I'm sorry. Like, if you watch Impact, that's cool. Like, I can't do it. Also, I can't find it. So
that's the thing.
I can't. People say Twitch. I'm
access. Good, brother. I think it's access. It's access. I think but I don't have access. I feel like. You gotta move the antenna on top of your TV to get access.
Yeah. I don't have cable anymore, so I don't know how to acquire access. But yeah, this whole partnership with Impact and NWA, like I think it's a very weird like people like think it's like a power dynamic or like a super squad, and it's just like, you mean the promotion that can't run shows anymore is working with Impact? I mean with AEW, and then you have like Impact, like the stigma that's all over them. Like
Yeah.
it's nothing crazy. But speaking of AEW and Impact, big rumor by Dave Meltzer, which I definitely think he's just testing the waters. Okada may show up at AEW or Impact. That's the report. That's it. You guys can't be. You gotta be joking me, man. I don't think they're sending any of their big elites over, and I think that's the first thing I said when we talked about the Forbidden Door.
Yeah, he's clearly posturing for the crowd. I when I saw that rumor, I was like, ain't no fucking way. I went over it. Like I was like, yeah, nigga, maybe a different Okada, maybe like, one of his homeboys is going. He's not going. His cousin, his pop's going. He's not going. Like I think that people, I wanted to say like people shouldn't get their hopes up. Like, because even with the Kenta thing, that was like a one off. You know what I mean? It was like a fucking WandaVision. Somebody shows up for one episode, then they're gone in the next episode. You know what I'm saying? It was like an Easter egg. You know what I mean? It was like this guy exists in a different universe, and he just happened to come here, and then he's gone.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people got very excited for Kenta showing up, and it opened the Forbidden Door. But we have to look like Kenta is like mid card guy. Also, he lives in Florida, so it's easy for him to get here. I don't see Okada risking his life to come over and wrestle in AEW. I know a lot of people. Well, on the other side of the coin, I see a lot of people very like shitting on the AEW talent. Like, oh my god, what kind of match are we gonna get? Like Okada versus Orange Cassidy. Hey, let me talk to you right now. The AEW fan base is gonna eat that up. Like, let's stop it right there. People are gonna love that, and I desperately think that AEW needs this, like, that kind of competitor to come and make everybody better.
My question is like, was this one of those situations where Meltzer recorded it, or was like one of those like mail-in? And they was like, "Hey, could you see Okada and Impact or AEW this year?" And then niggas like, "Yeah, that's a possibility," and it just went from there. That happens a lot with Meltzer.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't listen to it, so I have no idea if that's what the case was. Either way, I just don't.
He said it.
He said it like in the report.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said it. Yeah,
Well, then it's.
I don't know.
Hey man, it definitely seems like some politicking in the open. Yeah. That's like, because when the report came out, it was just like Meltzer said that Okada, they're like trying to get Okada to come over, and that was like it.
But here's my thing: what will this do other than get you internet brownie points? I do not think Okada showing up gets them over 1 million viewers, because they didn't get over 1 million viewers when they were on Access themselves. Like Okada showing up cold with no inclination of who he is, and that shows you the disparity between, I mean, even a WCW to a WWE, and like how they used to portray people and make people look like big deals, especially when they were coming from out of the country. Could they do that? Like, did they have that for Kenta? Did they show like video packages for him?
He just showed up.
He showed
up cold.
It was a surprise, and then it's not a surprise if you have no idea who the hell he is, or what the hell this briefcase is. Like,
well, how can they expect for this show to do like over? Like, I know they do well. They do well for where they're at. Mm-hmm. How can they expect to do better if this is? But I guess that's why they have the Shaq deals and stuff like that, because the Shaq stuff allows them to do Kenta and touch that. But like, do y'all feel like they're trying to like feed too many people or serve too many masters on this show? Because I feel like that when I watched it.
Like try to serve too many fan bases? Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Because they're trying to keep everybody. They're trying to keep a lot of their core fan base happy, but then again, it's just like AEW can never do wrong. So it's just like they can kind of just do whatever they like.
Wow.
So is like, are they pleasing people when they can really get away with anything?
We'll see how long that lasts.
And it's gonna last forever because people are very like hurt by the WWE.
It's gonna last until, which I mean, it's only so hurt. It's only so much hurt they can get. These niggas is not going away. There's only so much hurt you're gonna get.
Yeah,
like
so
it's gonna go well until they start hitting them 500K numbers, and then it's gonna start looking like crazy. It's gonna be like, all right, they're gonna pull something crazy out the hat at that point.
mm-hmm. Like that's when TNT might really step in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But we got a couple signees that we're just going to talk about. Like we said earlier, there's a rumored much larger class that we'll be seeing whenever they announce it, honestly. But we have Taya Valkyrie, Millie McKenzie, and LA Knight. Which one y'all want to talk about first?
LA Knight, we can get them out of the way quick because I don't know too much about them.
Okay. So LA Knight, a.k.a. Eli Drake. Not a big fan so far. We'll see what it do in the ring. What do y'all think?
So I've never actually I haven't seen any of these people wrestle, but I've seen Eli Drake promos. He reminds me very much of like a Mr. Kennedy type. And that's really, that's the first impression I got from him. Other than that, I don't know much about him. But
yeah. Yeah. The promo was nice to me. I thought him calling Sam Roberts an incel was fire. Like I thought that was dope. And talking about he was gonna beat the shit out of Wade Barrett. Well, that was fire to me. I don't know. Like
anybody could call Sam Roberts an incel, and I would applaud him for it.
Exactly. I popped. I think he's in a I don't envy his position because he's in the same position as guys like in EC3, where he is on a brand that focuses on certain types of people and they're not necessarily talkers. You know what I mean? And he will be the only guy in a sea of heels that are more action oriented than what I'm assuming from what people are saying he is. And there's no baby faces for him primarily to go against. Like they're probably gonna put him against Kushida, who can't talk, and I'm gonna be like,
like there's not going to be any rebuttal.
And the only guy that I think he could make magic with, so to speak, is not on the show and no one likes him, and that is a Velveteen Dream. And that's something that I feel like if Velveteen Dreams, if his situation was different, that would be the first feud that I would have with them. But it is what it is with that right now.
He's probably going to get paired with Ciampa, and then Ciampa's gonna give him the ultra mega promo, and then we go on from there.
But here's my thing. Ciampa don't, like, as much as we don't like him, he does personal shit aside. He always has good matches. Like this guy in. So like that might be the right guy to put him against. Him or a Thatcher would be pretty dope because he would give them something to work off of. Like that is something, but they would have to come out of their, Ciampa's low key like a Triple H on that roster, like personality wise.
Yeah. So swim good, LA Knight. I think they definitely should have waited for the field to clear a little bit before showing them off, but it is what it is. Millie McKenzie, who signed to NXT UK. Y'all not familiar with British wrestlers, but she's cool with Pete Dunne, Mako Satomura. She is really good. What else can I say? Yeah, she's really good. She's really talented. She has some matches on NXT UK already. I don't think they're particularly anything, like, it doesn't really showcase her skill, but she is really good. And
she's super young, right? Ain't she like 20?
Yeah. They approached her when she was really young, and then she was just like, can I get some more experience on my belt first? And I thought that was a big boss move.
What's crazy to me is all of the young acquisitions they're getting, especially in the light of the age debate going on, because it does seem to me like these people are not going to be on NXT UK and NXT for 10 years. You know what I mean? They're going to come up young. And I think that they are somewhat preparing for that reality pretty soon, that is not gonna be able to go and travel as much, and Seth Rollins is gonna slow down, in the next couple of years, like, there's going to be a lot of people that they're going to have to bring up to that level. So like, I do like the future proofing that they're doing. It's just in how WWE and the booking and creative at large puts these people in those positions. Like, we'll see with Bianca and Rhea, who are, in their 20s, in their early 20s, how they do with the rest of these ladies.
Yeah. Quan, you don't know Millie McKenzie, right? I'll probably send you a match, but anything?
Yeah, send me some. Only thing I know is she was doing that little tag team thing with Pete Dunne, and they were doing like the little big brother, little sister gimmick, whatever. But besides that, no, I don't know anything about Millie McKenzie.
Yeah, that's one of her most recent like things. So yeah, you're kind of up to speed. Taya Valkyrie, and I just want to pose a unique question for her. Do y'all see her being on NXT long, or do you see her coming to NXT at all?
She signed to NXT. I think that was confirmed.
Oh, okay.
As far as her being there long, NXT needs people like Mercedes. They need people like Taya to help some of these women along. Now, what would really be cool for Taya, and I don't know, I don't want her to see this as a demotion or whatever, but like if she worked at NXT Evolve show, that would be really dope for her. She'd be one of the biggest stars on it from day one. Because you remember on that show, you're not getting the EOs, you're not getting, the Tony Storms, you're getting the women that are on the come up, and you need like a measuring stick there. And I think that'd be cool for her to be on.
Yeah. I would agree there. Her helping some people come up. I think that that's definitely where she should be doing, honestly. I know a lot of people want her to be with Miz and Morrison, but like, you guys don't even like that shit anyway. Why y'all want to put her in that? So I think that is it for In the Trenches. We're going to transition to AEW, and Jesus Christ, that was an episode this week.
And ladies and gentlemen, our camera's caught up. I think Alex Marvez may have been there as well for the WWE champion, Kenny Omega.
Okay.
Yeah, man. You keep doing this to me, man. Y'all, and now I'm blaming you, Quan. I'm putting you in this shit too. Y'all keep doing this shit to me, man. I keep telling you I'm not watching this shit no more, and then you make me watch it a fucking again. And it was funny because as Cyrus was sending me YouTube clips, I was at the studio last night, and it was on in the studio. And there were certain points of the show, and when we talk about that, I'll bring it up, where people visibly gasped and said, "What the fuck is this shit?" And I'll talk about those conversations when we get to those. But there's a specific part of the show that I want to talk about when we get to it.
Don't worry, I have it loaded up, and I think it's honestly, I think it's ridiculous that people really let this slide. But let's start. First thing first, Hangman Page, free my guy. He will be wrestling Matt Hardy at Revolution, and I think this is quite the demotion, because last year at Revolution he was going against the Young Bucks as tag team champions, and he was one of the most over people on that show. And now he will be wrestling Matt Hardy for whatever true reason. This hurts. This hurts, man. I don't get it.
It's rough, man. I feel bad for my guy Hangman. I really do. Like you said, last year at this time, I was considering him one of my favorite wrestlers out at the moment. I thought he was doing a fantastic. The match with the Young Bucks was, in my eyes, top 3 match of the year last year. I'm sorry, I don't want to see Matt Hardy, bro. I don't care about Matt Hardy. Like Justin V say, do the doo-doo walk when he comes through the ring. I just like it's like I can't take him seriously. This match, there's barely been. I mean, there's been build, but like it kind of just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, the build came, I think, at least 3 weeks ago.
Maybe that 2 or 3 weeks ago.
This ain't right, man. This is really terrible for Hangman Page. Free my guy, and we're going to transition to the Young Bucks versus Santana Ortiz, and what I felt was a very lackluster match. Free them as well.
I can remember 1 year ago. I don't know if you guys remember this. I think it was Santana or Ortiz went on Twitter. Someone had complaints about them just being lackeys in the inner circle, and he said, "Y'all just hold on. Y'all got to be patient. We're gonna get our moment." I would love to find that tweet and find out what day that was said, because when watching this match, I was like, this is not y'all moment. Y'all is letting the young bucks. You know what's funny about AEW is that all of the VPs, they did what they kind of tried to subvert our expectations, right? They, like Cody lost a lot
for
Bucks
the first
lost a
year.
lot. Yeah, like Kenny lost a lot, just to show y'all like, hey, we're not gonna be, we're not gonna be trying to take over the show. And now a year later, it's like the other way, and they're getting their wins back, and they're beating everybody now. I'm just like, this isn't the way it's supposed to go. You're supposed to keep elevating these people. Like, that's the one thing this show is missing, is what is Sting doing to elevate these people? What is Taz doing? Well, I think Taz actually does a good job of elevating them. The team is just losers.
Yeah, they just continually book the team to lose, but I definitely think that Taz is doing a really good job representing them.
Absolutely. But when you look at the Bucks, the match ends in a beatdown with the Bullet Club coming out very slowly to help them as they're tapping to this fucking armbar. I was like, what the fuck is going on in this shit, man? I
was just like, wow, this match is something. And then when it ended with a cradle, I said, all right, Santana and Ortiz, y'all got to start. y'all got to start banging Gabe's line, bruh. Gabe had evolved.
It wasn't even the cradle. Wasn't even the part. It was him yelling the best, we're the best, and then walking into the cradle immediately after. Like that was the match was decent up until that point. They lost. Like, all right, you guys lost me, bro. Like, that's a Monday Night Raw ending or some shit like that. Some Ric Flair came out with Lacey type of ending. Like, what kind of shit is that, bro?
Yeah, and then the Good Brothers coming out very, very slowly, and the inner circle.
Slow.
The inner circle, who is 6 deep, running. Away, 6 deep.
Yep. Don't tell me these niggas just. I said this out there. Don't tell me these niggas afraid of Festus. Like, there's no fucking way.
After Brian Cutler just came out to zero fanfare to catch Jake Hager's finish, the Good Brothers come out and then they run in. Come on, bro. What are we doing here? Are you for real?
Then Jericho, how listen, I talked about this on the A show. How is this motherfucker, how is Tony Khan and that crew, who purported themselves to be very on the cusp and on the pulse of what their people of color, minority viewers were saying, how do they ignore what we've seen from Jericho and his wife this week and not say anything?
Easy. He's money mark, bro.
I mean, the wife being at the Capitol is crazy enough, bro. Like, yeah. Like the apple don't fall too far from the tree in that instance, where it's like, yo, and rightfully so, we will be calling on anyone in any other company that did the same thing. I just want to know, like, are they waiting for this to get worse? Are they waiting for him to just openly, like, he's been a lightning rod for this type of controversy for the past year, and they've said nothing.
I think once he had Donald Trump Jr. on the show, Tony Khan should have definitely stepped in and was to say, hey, bro, what are you doing?
Yep.
And instead, no, give him a spotlight on the show every single week.
And if he doesn't have a spotlight, put him on commentary for the week. It's like I feel like they let him to do whatever he wants. There's really no one's saying no to Jericho. Like you said, I don't want to use a term, but like,
there is no good episode of AEW with Chris Jericho on commentary. None of those episodes are good, and then they continue to do it.
And you've been watching for 2 years, so like you would know.
There is no good episode. When Cody was on commentary that one time during the pandemic, I thought that was like the commentary shot up through the roof. Then next week they decided to have Jericho like 3 weeks in a row.
The UK fans loved it.
It's pure insanity. And yeah, I don't know when will we ever get to the point where Jericho is just off the show. I think that is the AEW that is 2 years in the future.
His deal's almost up. I hear. I hear his deal's is pretty close to being up.
Don't re-sign him.
You gotta look at right y'all. Like you gotta look at what he brings, the value he brings to the show. And I think that we gotta ask questions if he does get re-signed or if he gets re-signed to a longer deal. As far as like what that is.
I mean, I could definitely see him re-signing, but just this inner circle shit has really done nothing for nobody, honestly. And MJF is still in the same position. Sammy Guevara has had this ceiling over his head forever. Santana and Ortiz, we said what we had to say.
I can see Sammy. It looks like they're about to turn him face too, from the recaps they said. It looks like he's about to turn baby face. But I could see why they have Sammy still kind of in the doghouse. He was wilding last summer. He was wilding.
I get that, but Sammy Guevara turning face is kind of a resurgence in his character, but the problem is that he is still in the inner circle universe of AEW. And that's where he's gonna be pigeonholed for until he gets out, honestly. And then once he's out, I don't see anything for him. So swim good, brother. The main event happens just because Eddie Kingston asked Tony Khan to make it happen. And it was a 6-man main event. The usual AEW stuff. Phoenix shows out. Lance Archer does okay. Jon Moxley does his thing. The Kingston family loses. So
Eddie Kingston, y'all.
That is that is your main event.
And then in usual ending AEW Dynamite fashion, there was the beatdown at the end, of course, because they cannot stop themselves from having a beatdown.
And with the beatdown, Kenny Omega says, "I'm going to put you down for good. I'm going to put you down once and for all, and we're going to have an exploding barbed wire death match."
You know what the funny part?
Who the hell could have predicted this?
You know what the funny part about that is too? I saw mad people on my on the comeback spot on my timeline, like, what's an exploding barbed wire match? Like, they've gone so geeky in their wrestling that they go into exploding bar. Like, you have to be a real wrestling nerd like us to know what an exploding barbed wire match is.
You got to follow Nuke Bummer on Twitter to know what exploding barbed wire death match is. And honestly, once the barbed wire explodes the first time, the luster is gone.
Is he gonna be like shaking like what are they gonna do? Like, also, why does Kenny only have like primarily death matches with Moxley? Like, they're going to the well one too many times here. I feel like the first death match they had was very divisive within AEW. I would say that was it was like 45 minutes long. I think people checked out at 20, and I think that either you loved it or you hated it. There was no in between there. And they're going to do another one of these matches. And it was just like, are you guys doing this because the last title match y'all had was kind of meh, and everyone knew that, and they're like, okay, we got to go back to the violence?
Mm-hmm. The blood and guts. And I think the death match was divisive. I think people just like spots from it. And I'll tell you guys right now, I've watched a couple death matches. The only thing that we're gonna remember coming out of it are the spots in it. But we're gonna have to watch that shit live.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna be great. I like death matches. I think it's cool or whatever. I'm not too fond of this stipulation of death match. I like the light tubes more, or glass, because it looks cooler. But this shit, I don't know, man.
It's gonna look real silly.
Is this pay-per-view have heat? Like what's the TL saying? Is everyone excited for this pay-per-view? I feel like I hear very little about Revolution.
People are very excited to see Sting wrestle. Woo, in a street fight where he's going to be heavily protected, and Darby Allin will be taking most of the beating, as he normally does. And probably come out on top. Honestly, I don't even know what the hell Sting is doing around Darby Allin when the match is going to be him and Cody. And I'm just like, how the hell are y'all going to build to that if you're hanging around this loser? So it is what it is.
Can we talk about the gender reveal?
Sure. It was on the quick hits, but yeah, let's talk about the gender reveal. Why?
I was watching it in the studio with a couple people, and when that popped up, somebody said in the background. I didn't have words for it because I was just like, somebody said, "Yo, that's my OD," and I was like, "Yeah, it is," and I was like, "Listen, who's worse?" Because I tell you one thing, Triple H would never do no shit like that, ever, in his life. Do no shit like that. That was some of the corny shit I've ever seen. Listen, Cody Rhodes, I don't know if anyone knows this. He's not a big celebrity. No one knows who the fuck this guy is.
He's on the Go Big Show. What are you talking about? Everybody knows who that is.
Hey, man, when I asked people who's watching the Go Big Show, nobody said anything. Nobody even checked out the first episode.
This motherfucker is not Ryan Gosling, nigga. Like that, no one cares what your child. Like you could have kept that secret. Who gives a shit?
You could literally could have just tweeted it. And
but the funniest part that made this shit look so bootleg, and I was watching with people that don't watch it, that are only familiar with SmackDown, is FDR coming out right afterwards with pink confetti on the ground. And I thought that was so hilarious because just a year and a half, 2 years ago, people were like, they could be treated so much better at AEW. And I said, oh, really? I hope so. Then you see this shit and it's like, oh, no. You forget that there's going to be nepotism throughout wherever they go because it's fucking pro wrestling. And that is what it's built off of, is nepotism. So it was funny to see Cody, who was at best a mid-carder while they were there, now big timing these motherfuckers and saying, hey, shave off about a minute of your match. I got to let everybody know I'm having a girl. Yeah, cool. Bet. And then doing that and then have them have a match, which is just the most ridiculous thing I'd ever seen. It was crazy.
I definitely
think. To say,
go ahead.
I was going to say, just congratulations to Cody and Brandy on a healthy baby girl. You know, I want to be at least a little positive.
I don't give a fuck about that kid, man.
Yeah, we got it. Sorry, big negativity these hours. I don't give a fuck about your kid. This literally could have just been a tweet with a picture.
They could have did this before the show started and put it out on Twitter.
Yep. Literally. They could have literally earlier that day. They could have tweeted it a day later. It did not have to take time up on the show. It really didn't. And I said it before. When FTR wanted to be at the top in the WWE and they couldn't get there. They're at the top at AEW. Let's see what happens or how they act or how they feel when they're no longer at the top.
But it ain't even about that. Like FTR, whatever. We know that they're not gonna have matches to the level that they had on NXT. That's just clear. We know that. That's not even a shocker or a surprise to anyone that it's not where it was at NXT. It's how like watching the show, how it was structured. I think it's really interesting to see every time I watch Dynamite, the way that it's structured. I'm like, it's very interesting that people, I know why people watch it and want to see it succeed and why it succeeds every week, because there's obviously some, there's something there, with people wanting an alternative, and that's absolutely fine. But watching the show, there's no way you could say that this show is like structured very well. Like that segment itself showed how bootleg this shit can be sometimes. The beatdown at the end of the show showed how bootleg this. There was 2 beatdowns in this episode. No, 3. The Sting shit. There were 3 beatdowns in this episode. I counted 3 of them, and I was like, bro, there was a beatdown every 30 minutes.
I remember last year at one point, I think it was like Ryan said, so one of the reporters like pointed it out, like every single segment on the show ended in a beatdown. It was like 7 in one show. That shit was crazy. I don't remember. It was like sometime last summer, but yeah, sometimes they get a little nuts with the beatdowns.
Quan, it's more than nuts. This seems to be like they can't stop niggas from beating each other up at this point.
My favorite beatdown in AEW history is, I think it's Santana Ortiz with the Bucks, and the beatdown started, went into the commercial break, lasted throughout the whole picture-in-picture ended, and they're still having a beatdown.
That was like the first month. I remember that. It was still
insanity. Like,
People loved it.
I get it. If you watch on Fight TV, you don't get to see the picture-in-picture, but you should really be prioritizing the audience that is watching it on TNT.
Yeah.
But yeah, to finish off AEW, the Super 16 tournament stuff, the Japan bracket happened on Monday this week on YouTube, and it will be happening. The next set of matches will be happening again on YouTube. Yuki Sakazaka won her first round match. Emi Sakura won. Ryo Mizunami and Aja Kong, they won. I think that Emi Sakura and Veni had the best match in the first round. How do you feel about it, Quan?
absolutely. So I come into this pretty heartbroken. we thought Maki Ito at least second round, bro. At least.
Shit, I was hoping for at least semifinals. Shit.
So like I was on Reddit or whatever. I don't know anything about Maki Ito, but I guess she kind of loses a lot. Like it's kind of her thing. But I feel like she out of the 8 women, I feel like she had the most buzz, you know, on the timeline, at least on my timeline, of like people really interested in seeing her. I don't know how long ago they like recorded these matches or something. Like did they record these like a month ago? Yeah. But it's I do hope they give her a call and at some point she does come back, because I do think
there's definitely potential there. Like potential. If those people that say that she loses a lot, that's fine. But let's just talk about like the quality of matches that she has. And I think on Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling that she has like some really good matches. And you're AEW, you don't have to have you could book her completely differently. But
hey man, they got them girls wrestling in the cafeteria, bitch.
Yeah, they had him in the very secured warehouse. No like crowd. I wasn't
Meals on Wheels shit.
I wasn't expecting the crowd and nothing like that. Yeah, I think both our picks got eliminated first round, so that sucks, but it is what it is. Riho and Serena Deebs had a match on AEW this week. I thought that was the only match worth watching on the show. If you want to go stream it or rent it back, I thought the match was pretty great. You should probably watch that. And then next week, every single one of these matches will be on YouTube. None of them will be on Dynamite. Once again, them just sticking it on a Monday, an hour before SmackDown. I mean, before Raw, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. But we'll be getting Nyla Rose, Tay Conti, and Anna Jay, Britt Baker, and the second round matches for the Japan bracket, which would be Yuki Sakazaka, Emi Sakura, Ryo Mizunami versus Aja Kong. I like Aja Kong, but please don't make her go to the finals or the grand finals, please. Like, let's not do that.
But they gotta please the people that love Aja Kong. So I mean,
she's not bad, but I'm just like, come on, bro. You have so many other talented people to choose from. And I really don't think Aja Kong gives a fuck about the AEW championship, bro. Don't fly me out. But with that said, we're gonna go into NXT Takeover Vengeance Day and NXT that happened this Wednesday.
I don't need to hear from you. I need Adam Cole to get his ass out here right now. I'll say it again. Adam Cole, get your ass out here.
I absolutely loved Vengeance Day. Fantastic card. I'm saying it right here. I watched it again. I don't ever watch wrestling shows over again, like unless it's like X7. It's probably the thing is the only other wrestling show I watched multiple times is in Takeover NOLA, and I think it's top 3 right there. I think if there was a crowd, it probably would have been the best takeover ever. With the crowd.
Definitely.
Ever.
Wow.
With the crowd. Think about, okay, let's look at the card. Let's look at the card right here. You had the first women's Dusty with 4 people that everyone loves in that first match. It was a hot match as well. You had Gargano, who was already liked. And I think that if there was a crowd right now, they would be ironically liking him as a heel. He would be getting over. He'd be getting face pops for the way shit. They would be loving that shit for sure because they love that corny shit. Versus Kushida, who they also love. MSK, who you absolutely know they love. Versus GYV, who you absolutely know they love, that like fans love as well. Having that fucking match that they had on that card. The 3 women match, like that might have been like the come down match. Honestly, that was a match I was kind of like, it was whatever. But Balor done. Then the end of the show,
the big.
How could you argue that? It had everything. Like Quan, it had everything you would need, and that's why I said with the crowd, knowing that takeover crowd, that show would have been top 2. And I ain't talking 2. It wouldn't have been 2. It would have been number 1.
Okay.
It would have been number 1.
I see where you're going with that. I understand.
How you feel about it,
man? I've been saying this since the jump with NXT. No matter what the TV product's looking like right now, you can always guarantee Takeover is going to be a banger. They don't miss. They really don't miss. I thought, like you said, the opening women's match for the Dusty Cup, incredible. I think talking to you, Cyrus, I think that's probably the hell her name. Not Ember, her tag team partner, Shotzi. Shotzi's best performance.
Yeah,
I think she signed on.
I was watching. I text both of you. Actually, I was just like, yeah, this has to be Shotzi's like best performance ever. She definitely showed out. Like this was fantastic.
That the plancha, the suicide dive spot had me fucking afraid for her, but she showed out, and I think that it was a great showcase of really all 4 women. And I think that again, had that been a crowd, knowing the history behind it, they were making history in that match, and that's one thing I think differentiates a lot of what's going on with this takeover versus NOLA. Like obviously it's gonna win because NOLA was NOLA, and it had a crowd, and it had the debuts, and it had all of the moments that we all love. But with this, it has the history and the historic moments of we're getting the first women's Dusty Classic, and I think that carried it as well. And I was really happy. I thought that it was going to be Ember and Shotzi because of. But we see on Wednesday's NXT that they look to be kind of, at least for the time being, making Dakota and Raquel kind of tweeners at this point.
We were just looking at the scope of NXT, and then Triple A was just like, nigga, there's a bigger picture. Yeah. Just pulled it back, and it was just like revisiting the history of Dakota Kai and Shayna Baszler, which I thought was really cool. MSK and Grizzly Young Vets, fantastic match. I didn't peg them to win the whole thing. I'll eat my words, but like I said, I don't hate them. No.
But I told you. But what me and Cyrus had a conversation on PlayStation literally a week ago. I said, if Undisputed Era is out, it's MSK for sure. And I was like, they're got to be winning. And I was like, but that's the thing. And like I said, the predictable option is sometimes always the best one. You go with what your heart is showing you, and they're a tag team that when they get fans back, which is going to be soon, they're going to shut the shit down, put them tag titles on them, and let them have a long run.
Go ahead. Cyrus.
No, you got it.
I saw what was going on, but they already, at that point in the show, they already had 2 heels win. I was like, Grizzly Young Vets is about to lose this match. That's who my pick was. I was like, there's no way they're gonna have you guys lose in the finals twice in a row, and they did. But you know what? They can use that as fuel for their gimmick wherever they go with it. So I'm not too mad at it. Yeah, MSK, they went all out.
Yeah,
they're fantastic. The energy when they debut was just so different. I know a couple of people saw on the timeline that night were like, well, I've never seen them before, but you guys seem to love them, so they better be good. And I was like, listen, these dudes, for the 4 matches they've had so far, have not disappointed at all.
Hey, the match with Elgato, bruh. Yeah, they're goated.
Heat. I was like,
They're
bro,
goated.
this is heat. Like they went off, and shout out to them, Wesley Nash Carter. Like, I feel bad for the third guy in the group. He's still in the Impact like wrestling scrubs, but like,
Hey, I seen the shit he was saying. Let's keep him there.
what was he saying?
I was about to say.
My man's on his all lives matter shit. So let's just keep him there.
No,
Let's keep him there. Don't come over.
You gotta send me that. You gotta send me that.
I got you, but I also think, hey man, they didn't even offer that boy the contract. Them boys saying, hey man, swim good, brother. Don't break them over. But yeah, MSK is great. I always knew that they were great. I definitely think the 4 set of matches that they had are completely different from the stuff I was seeing from them in PWG. They adjusted insanely well to the environment that they are in, and hey man, take it off Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. No one even remembers that you're tag champions, bro. Every time
it was weird, but we know that was a byproduct of Rich Holland. No, I mean, but I mean, it was a product of Rich Holland getting hurt. I'm pretty sure that they weren't supposed to. It was supposed to be bigger than that, and Pat was probably supposed to stay and stuff like that. But Rich Holland getting hurt, like NXT got a bunch of bad, shitty news and things happening to them toward the end of 2020. And like I said, like I feel like they're finally turning a corner, and they're very they're very like hitting a stride, and it's a stride that I felt like they had in the beginning. Then they had that stride again in Survivor Series weekend, and then they lost it. Now they're getting it back, and I'm like, they need to keep this momentum, and then I think that they'll be fine.
Yeah. It was just like a really bad string because we lost Carrie and then we lost Rich Holland. Yeah, just
we lost Keith Lee, we lost Damian
Riddle.
Facing the possibility that we could be losing a lot of women. We could be losing they've lost Rhea. She's gone. There's a lot of people leaving, and they got to step up. So like we can't notice there's a lag. They got to keep it coming. And that's why I felt like this episode of NXT Takeover, or not Takeover, but the TV this week was cool because they're showing you we're gonna keep rolling with who we got, and we have a lot of faith in them.
Kushida Gargano. He and come on guys, we gotta, if the match is too long, go stretch your legs, man. Go stretch your legs, man.
I didn't understand that complaint. It
was only like 25 minutes.
I thought that I don't think that because Johnny's a heel that means, or someone said like he's a mid-card heel, like I thought I thought he'd be having shorter matches. I was like, there was nothing in his character that would even clue you into the fact that he'd be having shorter matches. And also long matches are some of the problem, but most of the problem of long matches, and I think we could all agree, is the first 10 to 15 minutes not meaning anything. And I think in this match that was not the case.
Yeah, definitely not. I love Austin Theory getting kidnapped at the very start. So like at that point, it's like it's all up from there.
Exactly. There was a start, middle, and end to this match. The start was Johnny had no help, so he had to beat Kushida on his own. That was the story. Is that the way was always there, and this time they were not there. The story was, could Kushida hang with Johnny Takeover? And it took, and a lot of people were kind of upset, or like I saw some people disappointed that Kushida didn't win. But I was like, it took him 2 finishers to even beat the guy. This isn't over. They're gonna bring it back. They're gonna run it back.
I say it all the time, especially with NXT now. The first match doesn't always have to be the end. So we don't get that instant gratification because we get it with the MSK winning. So you just gotta take your wins when you can, man.
I thought and on this show, I thought the booking was fantastic. I thought that everyone, it made sense who won. Everyone, and then again, and we'll talk about it now. Like the end of this show made us excited to see what was going to happen on Wednesday, and I felt like they didn't disappoint with where they were going on Wednesday either. So,
Quan, got anything to add?
No, I think it was a fantastic match. Like I said, I don't think it's over. You guys pretty much nailed on the head. I do want to talk about Pete Dunne and Finn Balor. Hey, is it time?
Jersey on the rafters.
It's time, right?
I'm hooking it in up here. Meals was a little bit on the A show this week. He was a little bit apprehensive. I think he's a Finn hater. It's okay. We are on the right side of history. Meals is not. But I think with Finn, and you guys watch the show every week. The challenges on Meals don't watch. He don't watch the product. We watch the product on this show. All us three, we watch the product. But Finn, from the moment he stepped back, we knew he'd have to come correct. He'd have to be different. I think that his run now and concluding with this Pete Dunne match has proven that when Finn Balor's on the screen and he's having a match, we're going to be watching that motherfucker. And sometimes in the main roster, that wasn't the case, right? Where we were just like, we kind of know what's going to happen. He could win, he could lose. But if Finn won on the main roster, it didn't matter. If he lost in the main roster, it didn't matter. In NXT, these matches make you feel like it fucking matters because that belt, he's elevated it again. Honestly, he's elevated that title again, and it needed it.
And I think what is different this time around versus like his initial run on NXT, where he's on the show quite often. He's on it week to week. He has to cut promos now, and hey man, he's a completely different person, man.
Yeah, hang it up. It's time to hang it up. It's time to hang it up in the CWC rafters. Man's goated at this point. Like, I love this run he's been on. I'm happy he kind of pushed away from the little insider terms he would do in his promos.
When he banged it on the Fiend, I was just like, turn that up, bro. Turn that all the way up, because that boy had to lay down for the Fiend, and then the Fiend was getting burnt by Randy Orton. Yeah, the tides could completely turned.
He was right though. He was right. He was like, I had to lay down for the newest toy, and I was like, that was the truth. You know what I'm saying? And now look at they got to take him off TV for months because they overexposed him. You know what I mean? And with the Pete Dunne match, the psychology, man. Working the knee. There was the moment where Finn works the knee the whole match, and Pete does the backflip thing. What I loved about what Pete did, and again, we gotta also show love to Pete.
Oh, absolutely.
Well.
Yeah, I was gonna get that.
He was fantastic, but like him he did the backflip with his hands, and he botched it, but he still fell because you just can't make that flip. He had to make an adjustment, and I thought that was a fantastic moment of the match. And it was like, like Finn is doing everything here. Pete is doing everything here correct as far as the fingers, as far as everything. Like that all worked for me. I gave the match 5. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like it's my favorite match of the year so far.
Definitely one of my favorite matches as well. Definitely up there with the second Kyle O'Reilly match. And what I really liked about this versus the matches that he had with Kyle O'Reilly, like Pete Dunne kind of says it all the time, like everybody in the UK basically like looked up to you, but like not me. And then they go in there and they have a very British style match where they're working very technical for a large portion of it, showing that, they are both from the UK. And honestly, I've never really seen Finn wrestle this kind of UK style. So like, it was cool for him to like really bring that out for Pete Dunne. And for something that we rarely see, he brought it out in like pure perfection. Like that's a talented motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
I don't even think they left the ring.
They didn't
leave the ring.
No, they didn't.
Perfect.
Fantastic. My favorite near fall, the low blow, which he did with Finn's own arm into the bitter end. I thought it was over. I was like, yo, this is over. And it was like such a sick move, such a sick sequence there.
I'm surprised that's never been done before.
So good. But of course, like the ending, it felt like Finn was vanquishing, you know what I'm saying, a demon at that point. It was like, yo, he take the mouth guard off. He was just like, you fucking break my fingers, I'm gonna break your fucking teeth. John Woo drop kick into his face, into the fucking coup de grace, into the 1916. Fantastic match, 5 stars. But really, we got to talk about, and I guess this NXT TV is the ending of the show.
Pain.
Did anybody see it coming? Did you guys think that, because when it happened, I was hurt, but it also made sense in terms of where these guys' future is. And I'll say it right now, the future for these guys, if they move up, is not for them to move up together. There's just no room for it.
I will agree there, but did I see it coming? Absolutely not. Well, maybe to Finn, but when he did it to Kyle, I was just like, no, what are you doing? My heart dropped.
I'll tell you the exact moment. As soon as they went up and did the pose, I saw Adam look to his right. I said, "Yep, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for Finn." And then I saw, like when Shawn Michaels used to get in the stands, like you knew that that super kick was coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw Adam Cole in stands. I said, "Yep." It's for Kyle too.
You see him get stanced up a little bit, and you're just like, "Hey, what are you doing?
What you doing, bro?"
Honestly, I didn't see it really coming at Kyle because he was just too close. Like it was like hard to like, I guess like just like proximity wise, I thought it'd be too hard to just throw a super kick, He
caught him in the chest though. He looked at him in the chest.
Caught him dead in his chest, man. And then that leading into NXT, this opening segment for NXT this week, stellar segment, and I thought Kyle just showed an insane passion in that promo. Just he is conflicted, he is hurt.
He sounded really flustered in his whole promo.
Yeah,
he sounded mad, just upset.
He was going through an array of emotions, and he's a really good promo. Like I'm not really familiar with like his promos in ROH, but like when Roddy came out, he was like, "No, I don't want to talk to you." Like there's real emotion there, man. Nobody's doing shit like that.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the fact that he really just set it out. Like there was no there really was no like questioning, like, okay, he was like, I still trust you, but I want to punch you in the face. And I was like, okay, that's good. That's like a good way to do it. Like most of the time WWE writes these faces to be really stupid and say like, I just want to know what you feel, man. Come on out. Like Kyle was ready to fight. He knew that. Like he knows Adam well enough what that kiss of death means. That was a kiss of death. That means there's no coming back from that. You know what I mean? And I think the real story with this, like, is where does Roddy end up here? At the end of the show, you had Finn hitting him on accident, and maybe that could be the issue that makes Roddy turn to Adam's side. Where does Bobby Fish stand? But does Red Dragon reform at that point?
Come on, bro.
He stands for that anthem. I tell you that.
Yeah, man. Hand to hand, broken hand over his heart, bro. Honestly, when you asked me a couple of days ago, where do I see Roddy going? I was just fuck it, put him on SmackDown or have him stay in NXT. Screw it. He is a very talented dude, and he would basically like truly blend anywhere except Raw. I just don't want to see him on Raw. I think he could do well on Raw though.
Yeah, he could do well anywhere. Well, the end of the night between these guys saw them in a triple threat or a 6-man tag, which I thought it was pretty good. Which ended in, I really feel like we gotta talk about this. Yeah, I feel like we gotta talk about it because like it's not the story. Like I feel like the actual story of this is bigger than the fact that a fan was taking pictures in the actual thing. I'm pretty sure. Like I'm not even sure if that was allowed. But like
I'm not.
The seizure shit was just like everyone was confused for like an hour as far as like, if he was okay. And like I was like, is it a work? Are you sure it was
I'm glad that they debunked the story really fast. I think where I have a problem with it was people going like their first reaction is, are we getting worked? And I was just like, dog, somebody possibly just had a seizure. And you're worrying about if you look, I get like, if you fell into the entertainment portion in this business that, we lose people. So it's just like, Let's make sure Kyle's okay, and if we get worked, we get worked. And it was just the fan or whoever took that picture and reposted it said, "Yo, I think he had a seizure," and then WWE was just like, "Hey, what the fuck y'all niggas talking about?" And then Kyle's perfect. He all right, man. We was just doing some shit, and then everybody getting mad at WWE for like debunking it. Like, what are we doing?
I wish they didn't say anything. I was like, well, you motherfuckers can't calm down. That's why they had to say something, bro. Like, what do you mean?
Like, wow, I wish I was left in the dark about somebody that can be like really like hurt.
That could die, like life-threatening shit. Yeah, you know what though? Shout out to Kyle O'Reilly selling. My man was shaking and shivering on the pavement,
bro. Like I said,
he sold like that before.
Yeah.
Like I said in the chat, man, he's such a goat. He thought niggas thought he died. That's how good he is.
he was selling like a monster, man. And he said for the reason for the stretcher was because he literally took a brainbuster on the steps, and they were worried about his neck, not because he had a seizure. Because not that he didn't have a seizure, but you know what I'm trying to say. But also I think that the fact that everybody was kind of just like led astray and everybody, some people were in the dark. Finn Balor got pinned by Pete Dunne, and that quickly kind of just got glossed over. And that he hasn't got pinned in a very long time. So that was very interesting.
Big implications. There's a lot of implications on this show. Let's talk about it because I want to get to the fantasy booking part of this motherfucker. Okay.
Okay.
Pete Dunne. Hey, I'm like the Always Sunny meme with all this shit. That's what I'm doing for NXT
with all the thing on the board. It has just Pete Dunne on it.
So listen. Pete Dunne pins him. Okay, March 3rd, we could get that rematch, right? Mm-hmm. That would make sense. It's going up against the Shaq thing, so
yeah,
that's what they want to do.
You have that, and then
the two tag championship matches too.
Yeah, the tag team match. So AEW
that's a takeover
dead.
Card.
Yes, AEW's dead. It's already dead next week. So.
Both shows are dead. Both shows are dead next week. Let's be clear. Both shows are dead next week.
What's next week?
Nothing. We don't know. Like we don't even know what's going on.
I thought something like outside was going on.
I think it's like a
Cross and Escobar is the only thing. And honestly, I see some shenanigans for it, like not happening
That's
again.
Not happening. But speaking of Cross, let's get into the implications of Pete Dunne pinning Finn Balor. You get that match again. You then have the opportunity to have Kyle off TV for a couple of weeks. As this happens, as the Adam Cole thing goes on, so that means that, and I want us all to have a round of applause. There is no way that Karrion Kross is going to come into this feud in the next month and a half, right?
There is no room for this guy, and I need him to stop saying that he's going to come back for that title. There is no space for you here, and the more you keep saying that, and the more things just keep developing around that title that pushes you further back and back, makes you look dumb to me. It makes you look really silly.
Now, I'm not mad that he's not in the picture. It's just that him getting hurt and then Ridge Holland getting hurt got us the Kyle O'Reilly run. Essentially, like, this is what got us the run. And I think that, listen, I don't know where the title is going to go. Obviously, Finn will probably beat Pete Dunne again, but we're going to get the Adam Cole match down the line. Mm-hmm. Where does Kyle fit in? And okay, these are the two options. You could have a triple threat between Kyle, Finn, and Cole, which I know Cyrus isn't a big fan of. Or you could do Kyle and Adam at TakeOver and Finn and Cross at that same TakeOver. But I think that you run into the Gargano Ciampa issue where the Kyle Adam match is actually bigger than the title match at that.
Karrion Kross is like the 6th or 7th most important guy on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So him and Balor is easily getting overshadowed. I think at some point we may get one of those special there's only so many weeks until Mania. we get one of those special NXT shows. Like I know I've been saying it a lot, but you get one of those special NXT shows and you have to do something on there. So the reason why I don't like a triple threat, I just like my singles matches. I think the match will be a banger. If they do a triple threat, I got to see Finn Balor losing it and then like taking a step back and like letting Adam and Kyle carrying that story.
Facts. Yeah. What do you think, Quan?
So initially, I think we talked about it last week. I was thinking, are they going to go the 4-way route? But it does seem like they're low key kind of what's the word I'm looking for? I keep losing words today. They low key, you're trying to like steer Karrion Kross away from that title picture, and I feel like this Undisputed Era breakup is only going to get bigger from here. It just seems like he's slowly getting pushed out, which is fine. I don't think they need to rush Karrion Kross in there. They got him in the tuck for whatever happens after all that stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
Even wherever they go, they have Karrion Kross in the tuck. Let's hope he just stays healthy. You know, even if they want to just, you know, transition him towards maybe at the North American division for a little bit and kind of that mid-card area, maybe something with Bronson Reed or Cameron Grimes, wherever they can go. There's so many dudes in that mid-card they can have and work with that, they don't need. I don't think they need to rush into bringing Karrion Kross into that main event picture for now.
And honestly, I mean, if we wanted to get into the Santos Karrion thing, which didn't happen this week, I'm fine with them doing that because Karrion needs a character. He has no character. You need somebody like a Santos to get under his skin, and that's what seems to be what's happening right now. Is that they're actually giving him more than just him squashing people. Like Santos is giving him a run for his money in terms of really like getting under his skin, and I like that. And I'm like, we don't need to hot shot him to a title where he just squashes people in 8 minutes. Like I'm fine with that. I don't want that.
And it's kind of weird because when he came in, NXT was this land of hosses. He gets injured, comes back, there's nobody but him.
Yeah. It went back to small guys. Because it was like Damien.
It went back.
Priest, it was Lee, it was Holland, it was like all these big dudes.
Priest, Lee, Holland, and then Bronson Reed took a step back for a little bit. So he came back and, you know, he was Will Smith in the house. Yeah. Where all the big niggas at? Pause.
I fuck with big niggas too.
So I'm completely okay with him just taking a step back, and you know, I mean, he could seriously do anything else, and like you said, him getting that character is great, and this does amazing stuff for Santos Escobar as well. So both of them can just benefit off of each other, and I think that like the stuff that they're doing is better than anything they could be doing. Cross could be going around squashing guys, and Santos could be like, you know, still fucking around with Kurt Stallion. Like, we don't need that. So that's it for the main event picture of NXT. We're just gonna go into the quick hit sections really fast. The Dusty Classic segments, I thought it was really great. MSK and Beth Phoenix becoming best friends. Classic stuff there. But Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, and Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez having quite the segment where just if you blinked and missed it, you would see Dakota Kai and Raquel swiftly turning into faces. Which we, like me and Quan thought, like, no, there's no way that they're gonna run the heel versus heel unless Bianca and Sasha take it, which I'm not.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Please spare me. And then they were just like, oh, don't worry about that. And then they just pulled the wool over your eyes, and now that they're really getting one over on them.
I mean, even bigger than that, I thought those two had their best promo like ever. Like I thought they stood their ground. I know Nia isn't the strongest promo, but she comes off as natural, and I felt like they came off as natural as well. And again, like we're not talking like, you know, they're, you know, elite level, Becky level, you know, talkers, but they came off very well in that segment. I thought Raquel got a really nice burn. I know I said before Takeover they need to go their separate ways, but if they're gonna be doing stuff like this, I'm fine with them being a team still.
Now that they turned, yeah, I'm okay with it. Like the heel thing was running stale, especially when you have Candice LeRae doing her thing, and then you have Toni Storm and then Mercedes Martinez. Like there wasn't a lot of faces on the women's division, and now turning them face definitely helps in the situation.
Yeah.
Really good segment. I liked it a lot. Santos Escobar hops out the whip. He said, "Regal asked me to come to work. Fuck him," and went back right back home.
I'm taking my PTO. I feel him.
Hey man, Regal got to do something about this, bro. Because Cameron Grimes telling him to kiss his grits, and then Santos Escobar said, "Fuck it, I ain't coming to work." Hey man, you got to do something.
Do you guys foresee the Santos and Karrion thing going on a little bit longer than this? Like maybe past this first potential match?
I don't really know, because when you raise that question, I think if they're gonna have a stipulation for the next one, and I'm just like, what can that stipulation be?
Mm-hmm.
My thing is like I don't watch 205 Live, so I don't particularly know like what's going on. Does he even have a contender for his belt right now?
No, he's beating everyone. He's beating everyone.
He's beating everyone, and Vic Joseph, I like he sprinkled it a little bit. That Jordan Devlin. This is like the first time in a really long time that they mentioned Jordan Devlin on NXT, so we could be seeing something soon.
Yeah, I think that the idea would be, honestly, and fuck it, let me just go all the way there. Have Santos beat Karrion.
Hold on, I like that.
Wow.
Have him beat Karrion. Okay, I'm not saying pin him.
Elaborate. No,
have him beat him by count out. Have him beat him by count out. Have him beat him by DQ.
Give me dirty finish, man.
In anything, we've seen that Santos is a really accomplished cheater. Have him beat him by nefarious means, and have a reason for if Jordan Devlin shows up. Which was he on UK this week?
I don't think so.
There are a couple people on UK that haven't been there in a couple of weeks. Walter being one of them. Walter hasn't been there in a while. Mm-hmm. Jordan Devlin, we'll be going on 2 weeks or maybe a week and a half at this point. And I don't think they announced them for next week either. If they show up for a one shot in March, which would be really cool, have them have the match, and Karrion cost him that match, and then do Karrion Santos at Takeover.
I like what I'm hearing right now.
Right? Like that makes sense to me.
Free him of the cruiserweight belt shackles, man.
I mean, other than the QAnon shit, wrestling wise, I'm looking for a reason to fuck with Karrion Kross. Give him some adversity for something. You know what I mean? And that, I feel like this feud would make you care about the fact that, okay, this guy talked shit about him and his girl, been ducking him, cheated to beat him, and now let's get the real match. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that is the way that you go about that. And I think they have enough weeks to do it. So go ahead and do that shit.
Hey, Regal, we talking to you, man.
I'm telling you, man. Get this RNC booking, man. Like, come on, man.
Free booking, bro. I absolutely love that idea. Anything to free Santos Escobar from his cruiserweight shackles and have Karrion Kross develop some character. Like, I definitely do think, like I said earlier, like this feud is beneficial for the both of them.
Because I think that if Undisputed Era is broken up, Legado goes into that spot. Mm-hmm. Right? Swiftly. You need that stable. If Undisputed's gone, because I remember saying this during the Dusty Classic to you, Cyrus. I was like, yo, they're not gonna have Legado go further than the Undisputed Era. They're just not. Mm-hmm. You know, they're not gonna have them go because they're not the big team. Now, if Undisputed Era goes away, that's when they come in.
Which is why initially I wanted them to win the Dusty Classic, because, well, I didn't know that they were going to have this whole breakup angle, but it was just like Undisputed Era is considerably slowing down, and we do need this big faction, and I'm not fucking with for the brand. I'm sorry. So let's start getting, Santos and Joaquin Wilde and them, let's start getting that engine going. But two more quick hits before we leave here. Xia Li said she is going to purge Casey Catanzaro. It's lit. She's going to be doing her thing. I'm curious to see where the story with her and her overseer, her master, I forget her name at this current time, Taisha.
Taishin or something like that.
Okay.
Taishin,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm fucking with it.
And Casey, wear a mask.
And just kick her in her jaw. I'm with it. And then whenever they do the reveal or whenever they put Taisha in the match, it's gonna be lit. I can't wait.
Karen Q. Come on, let's just say who it is. It's Karen Q. I can't wait to see what gimmick they have.
I don't know who she is, man. They turn her to Hisako, and I think it's lit.
Yeah,
I think it's
Hisako
great.
from Killer Instinct. Yeah,
I think it's hard. Kaylee Ray and Meiko Satomura will be having a match next week, and they did not say if it's for the title. And I think that is
it's for the title.
Okay, now let me talk to the people and tell you why Meiko Satomura winning this is a very bad idea. Before y'all all get really happy and be like, yo, Meiko got to take it off her. Kaylee Ray has been champion for a really long time. Meiko Satomura, undeniably, is the GOAT. Who the hell is taking it off Meiko Satomura if she gets the title?
But she can't. Kaylee Ray can't beat Meiko, bruh. Like they put a lot behind Meiko Satomura. I'm not saying that no one could take it off of her, but there are a lot of, like, the McKinsey girl could come in and potentially do that shit. You know what I mean? Like, there are women on that brand that aren't on there every single week. Like,
yeah,
they have to get off the KLR. She's beating everyone, Cyrus. Like,
she and you know what? She has beat. Well, it's hard to say she's beaten everybody because there's just some people that they just never gave that position to. You know. And I don't think that NXT UK has done an amazing job with Zio Brookside, Isla Dawn, Nina Samuels. They're doing some stuff with Danny Luna, but like, there's been enough time to build a contender after.
What about the Valkyrie girl? The Valkyrie girl.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, they're working on her as well. But I think there was a lot of time to build talent. After Piper Niven, even during that hiatus during quarantine, and you know, they're when they came back from quarantine,
they're stacked. That roster is stacked.
Yeah, the roster is stacked, and they definitely had time to build somebody after Piper Niven, and for some reason they made it Ginny, and I was just like, for why? I get that she was like the second biggest heel on the show, but then you had the heel versus heel match that kind of just resulted in like nothing. So
I think that Meiko getting that gives you a face challenger or a face champion, opens up some fresh matchups, which the show sorely needs.
Definitely.
Yeah, like I think there are a lot of ways you can go with Meiko. With KLR, it is a dead end if she still has that title by the end of next week.
I think that if she wins, get the title offer on the next challenger, and then we kind of still get, you know, those fresh matchups and shit. I really need Kaylee Ray to drop this title and get off NXT UK.
But I was just gonna say that because if you think about it, pre-pandemic, it seemed like she was kind of transitioning over to NXT with Tony Storm anyway. So I feel like they got some unfinished business with that. So yeah, I mean, I'm with it. Let Meiko get the belt. Why not? And then they can make it, bro. They can make it happen. It's not like, you know how NXT system works. The next man up is just like that. Look how quick they did it with Kyle O'Reilly. Look how they do it. They could do it within a week. Hell, even on the main roster, they could do it in a week. They had Shinsuke Nakamura in catering to a main event dude in one night.
Yeah.
Had everybody fooled for.
and with NXT, listen, man, like the idea that they could be losing. I mean, let's pie in the sky. They lose Io after April. They lose Rhea. She's already gone. They could lose Dakota. They could lose Candice or someone else. Like, they could lose a lot of people going in to after Mania. Kaylee Ray as a heel works against what's her name, Zoe. You know what I'm saying? They could go with a lot of things. It's just that, again, they're in a position where they can get these, if they can get these women over across the seas, they're going to do it, and they're going to try and do it. And now that they can do it, they're absolutely going to make it work. So it's time to shit or get off the pot, and let's do that with Meiko.
Hey, since we talking about it before we go, that Imperium video a couple weeks ago. What's up with Walter? What's Walter doing?
Where's he at?
Where's he at?
That man is. What time is it in Tulum, Mexico, bro?
I thought the shocker on Takeover was going to be Walter coming out behind Finn when he was pointing,
Yeah.
but it wasn't. But that's something that's in the air right now. Whether that be like, I honestly feel like they're either setting up an NXT UK match for Takeover. I don't know who it's going to be against, or they're going to have the Finn Walter match. And again, there's time to do it. There's about 7 weeks left. We got time to do this. We got time to do a lot of shit on these shows to stretch all these feuds out.
Okay,
The
so how
Imperium,
about
like, playing twice is very interesting to me.
so how about this? Come March 2nd.
March 3rd.
I'm sorry, March 3rd. Come March 3rd is whatever is Pete Dunne, the rematch. Finn wins, puts the guns up. The room gets silent. It gets dark. That symphony hits. What's up?
Man,
Finn got 18 beefs, but the thing is, if that happens, Quan, we're for sure getting a triple threat at Takeover, or we're for sure getting Kyle at Takeover. Like, I just don't know if, like, I know that there's time to unless they're gonna do a Worlds Collide. I just don't know, bro. It's tough. It's very tough.
I've been begging for a Worlds Collide for a very long time.
Or you get the title off Finn, then do the Walter match after Mania.
I mean, that would be the hot match. And if they're not going to do it, if they're not going to run a Worlds Collide between now till Mania, I definitely think doing a Worlds Collide like after, sure. Like, why not?
I just don't think they have. I don't think they have time. What day are we on right now in February? They got next week, the 3rd, and then after that they have 1, 2, 3, 4. They got less than a month to get to their Takeover. So after March 3rd, they're in pure road to Takeover mode, and we're gonna know matches by then. So I just don't know if they have the time to do it. So
yeah. So good luck to the NXT booking team. Prayers down for Kaylee Ray. Thank God Kyle O'Reilly is okay. Congratulations to Cody and Brandy on their girl. Sammy Guevara, stand strong, man. Don't let them break you down. Impact. Kenny Omega, hey man, get better fits, man.
I'm about to say that man is 0 for 20 on fits so far. He ain't had one good fit yet.
Well, hey, he had a the tan suit that he was wearing in that weird vignette was pretty cool. But then he just came out dressed like Shrek with the with the Dorothy boots on.
Ain't no drip. There's no drip to be found with that motherfucker. Get out.
Yeah, white people stop trying to decipher if he has drip or not. It's okay. Leave it to us.
You saw that tweet too?
I'm tired of it every week. Let us decide. And that is it for our show. You can follow me at H_visibility, Quan at the comeback spot, Justin at OG Johnny 5, and the A Show RNC at the A Show RNC on Twitter. We have the A Show Spa Callers. Our new show with an asterisk name, the Rewriters Room. You can always revisit those episodes, revisit those great discussions, and then we have a whole bunch of other good content over at the RNC Radio Live. And hey man, we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.